Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Going over today's MLB main slate on DraftKings. I did my cheat sheet for the earlier slate, but I'm going to be busy with NASCAR, so I didn't have time to make my cheat sheet for this slate. So I'm just going to do a little rundown of the slate, some of the pitchers I like, and some of the bats and stacks I like, and then some of the value plays I like too. Anyway, before we continue, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that. And for those of you who are new, I'm going to be posting a NASCAR video for tonight for tomorrow's NASCAR race at Talladega, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, let's get into the slate. So my number one pitcher tonight is going to be Clayton Kershaw. I think a lot of people are going to go to Noah Syndergaard, but I'm looking to pay up for Clayton Kershaw. I know he's like $800 more, but I'm more comfortable with him. I love lefties versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. They don't strike out a lot versus righties, but when it comes to lefties, they do. They're going to strike out a lot, and they're a worse team versus lefties. They're striking out 27% of the time to lefties right now, which is one of the tops in the league. And usually lefties have a good time versus them. I know Ryu had a good game last night. And overall, I think it's just an awesome matchup. Kershaw's had control this year. I know he walked a few guys in was his last start, but other than that, he's been pretty sharp. And there's some nice K upside. He's going to be pitching at home, friendly pitchers park. So I think there's a lot to like about Clayton Kershaw. It's a low Vegas total. Pirates have only like a 2.8 implied run total, so that's the lowest on this slate too. So I'm really liking Clayton Kershaw a lot over Noah Syndergaard. But yeah, so for Noah Syndergaard, I do think he's going to be the most popular pitch in the slate, but I understand that over Kershaw because he hasn't been as sharp this season, and the Brewers have some really good lefties in the lineup. I mean, I know Syndergaard can overpower just about anybody, but he's not in the best form, and we got guys like Christian Yelich, like best hitter in the league right now so far. And then Yasmani Grandal hits righties well. Mike Moustakas hits lefties well. And then Travis Shaw, he's been kind of broke this year, but other than that, he can hit righties, and so can Eric Thames. So I mean, I'm kind of scared of that lineup. So I know the Mets is a decent pitcher's park, but I'm definitely liking Clayton Kershaw a lot better than Syndergaard. But I getting the savings here, but I don't know. It just kind of worries me a little bit. Then in the same game, if you need a cheaper pitcher, which I mean you're gonna have to, you can't play both of these guys. I think Brandon Woodruff is a fine option. He's been pretty solid, not the best, but he will struggle versus lefties a little bit. And the problem is there are some good lefties in this lineup, like Robinson Cano, Michael Conforto, Brandon Nimmo's okay. Other than that, though, I think he can have a decent start. They don't strike out a ton versus righties, but we're not asking for much from 7,700. He's going to be a chalk SP2 tonight, so I think it's actually a safe way to go, which is what I would do in cash. But if you want more of a GPP option at SP2, I think we can go with Mike Minor versus Seattle. So versus lefties, they have struggled. They have a really high K rate versus lefties. I know it's a good offense, but versus lefties, we got guys striking out 29% of the time. I know Vogelbach doesn't have a big sample, but strikes out 40% of the time. Murphy 38% of the time. So really, I think this is a decent matchup for Minor. If you want to go with him, he's more of a GPP option. Woodruff's more of the cash option, just because Minor's more expensive and he's going against a pretty good offense. But I think Minor's in a sneaky spot there, 8,300. Then for some of the bats I like this Arizona-Chicago game. I hope the roof stays open because the weather's pretty nice in Arizona. Vegas has this as a lot of runs being scored, and I mean, we got two not very good pitchers on the mound. Yu Darvish, I know he used to be good, but he struggles with his control, and he's going to give up some power, and he struggled in this matchup versus they had the D-backs in his last start in Wrigley. So I really like this lineup for the D-backs, like all the lefties here. Jared Dyson's fine. He's got some good stolen base upside. Eduardo Escobar and David Peralta being my two favorite plays. Adam Jones, it's okay, but I prefer the lefties. Christian Walker's been swinging a hot bat. Even Ketel Marte's fine. But yeah, so I like the D-backs. And on the other side, I like the Cubs too. I like a lefties versus Godley, but he's not very good versus both. But this year he's been worse versus lefties. And so we got guys like Descalzo, Chris Bryant. I think Chris Bryant's going to be pretty popular tonight. He had a home run yesterday. Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez. So all these guys are in play for me. Like them all. And then let's go to another game I like. There's actually a lot of bats I like tonight. I don't think you're going to have trouble finding bats. So these Angels guys, Lopez really struggles versus lefties. I mean, he's not very good versus righties either, but versus lefty, he's really bad. So Cole Calhoun and Justin Bour standing out as really good plays. But Mike Trout's probably the number one play on the slate just because he's so good versus righties. I know he hasn't been going off lately, and he's his price is really up there, but you know, one of these days he's gonna be Mike Trout again and just go double dong or home run and get a few doubles. So I mean, 330 ISO, 470 WOBA versus right-handed pitching, it's the best in the league. So no problem if you want to pay up for Mike Trout. And then on the other side, the projected long reliever is going to be Baria, if we can find him. And he's a reverse splits righty, so he's going to be worse versus right-handed bats. I mean, he's not very good versus lefties either, but versus righties, he's pretty bad. So Whit Merrifield stands out as a good play. Adalberto Mondesi's fine too. And then Alex Gordon's fine. Hunter Dozier, as I said, he's worse versus righties, so Hunter Dozier's fine. And Ryan O'Hearn stands out as a good play too because he really hits right-handed pitching very well. So really like the Royals here. A lot of good options from the Royals. And then some of these Rangers lefties I like. Going against Mike Leake. So Mike Leake's not going to strike a lot of guys out. He's got a low K percentage, 15%, and he's going to allow a lot of contact and a lot of hard contact, especially to lefties. So Rougned Odor is one of my favorite plays tonight. He's just so cheap, and he's at second base. He should be back tonight. So, and Shin-Sin Chu is good. Nomar Mazar is fine. Joey Gallo, wouldn't be surprised if he hits a bomb. The problem is he has some trouble making contact. But if he does, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a bomb. So really like the Rangers lefties tonight. The problem with stacking these guys, though, is they don't make a lot of contact. So it's hard to get them on base and string consecutive bats in a row. So that's the problem with stacking them, but I don't mind some one-off power plays here. And then just some value bats off the top of my head for who I like tonight. Rougned Odor, 3,800. Cole Calhoun, 4,200. Justin Bour, I think he's around 3,800. Ryan O'Hearn and Francisco Cervelli. I know it's versus Kershaw, but he's 2,700, so that's fine. So, sorry, this is just a short video, but kind of focusing on NASCAR right now. I know we have qualifying as we speak, right now. So I'm going to get to that, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and good luck today.